Hey guys, Level here. New season of Siege, I believe, started today. Year 10, Season 3. So I just want to point out the fact that I had a 70% win rate on Melusi. I'll share with you guys my tips. Okay, so in low elo, my win rate on Melusi was like, I don't know, like 86% or something. And then it fell down quite a bit. I was playing a lot more cheaters. But then I climbed it back up to 70%. And this is kind of one of the maps where I was really able to just crush bad players. So obviously the upstairs, I'd start by making some footholes. Maybe a little bit better than that, but you get the idea. I would place one here, because a lot of teams will drop skylight. I'll put a reinforcement here just because the way I like to think about the game is I don't like giving the enemy team easy access to the site. So like I think you could leave this open if you wanted to, just to contest outside bathroom window, like the drop down and the climb up. But I like to close it just so they can't walk in. I put this here so when they swing around the corner, they have to fight here. They have to worry about someone peeking there. Now keep in mind when you're walking up these steps, if someone's close, you can actually see their shadow on the wall. So they'll know if someone's here or not, which means they can kind of focus over here, and then they have to deal with the footholds and then being slowed down. So when they get slowed down, they got to go bang, 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 and then they're turned from those angles. So I know there are setups where people play in the bathroom, but I think these footholds are really strong because you can still play in the bathroom. You can still play here under the window. You can still, I think this door frame is super strong because people pushing from this side have a hard time clearing the corner. And like if you play the corner and nothing's happening spiral, you can kind of just play here on this corner, and you can see you can see through the footholes, and you can also peek wide while they're in slow motion, while they're being frozen. And if you have a site player over here on B, like contesting, right? If you're working together to stop them, maybe they have a Montaigne or something, like I think that Melusi is really strong. So the other thing I like to do is I'll place one here. Now, I'm not sure how good this is actually, because in all the rounds I played last season, I'm not really sure if it's better higher or lower. I would assume it's better higher, because if someone comes, I don't know, they can shoot it here, right? But anyone peeking this doorway, maybe over there, and usually we have a hole here. So sometimes there's a mirror here. Like I like to hard reinforce this one. And if we can have a mirror, I would leave a mirror here, and then obviously head holes, right? So anybody coming in this window, whether they're like a lurk, if they're going for like a quick plant, maybe it's worth, opening the hole a little bit and having someone play downstairs to deny sight. But that's not a super big deal because I don't really see people going for this quick plant anymore. And if they are going for the quick plant, you should kind of realize that they're going to break this window, and as soon as they break the window, you get closer to play on the window to stop them from coming in. But if they don't break the window and they're waiting till really late in the round to come in so that they can flank, right? So like let's say, the defense lost some numbers and the defense slides over towards A site because they're coming up these steps, which I don't know what they're called. What are these steps called? Service stairs. Okay, well, how about vending machine stairs, because service is fucking ridiculous. So, vending machine stairs. Let's say there's a mirror here. Even if there's not a mirror, I still like to put this reinforcement up. It's not necessary. And I like to put, I have impacts on right now, but usually I have a bulletproof camera. I'll put it right here. So that way I get a scope of the A site when I go on cameras, and it's pretty hard to break because they're not breaking it from this window, which means they're probably not going to break it. I guess they could break it from bathroom, because actually what I do is super counterintuitive sometimes. Is I'll open up this wall as a quick rotation so that we don't get funneled in a way, right? So let's say they break main breach, or they take I'm not really super keen with callouts. I just call this cubicles. because I mean, well, they kind of used to be cubicle. I guess they're still cubicles, right? So this, let's just pretend it's east side, cubicle side. They've taken this area, right? So they have this room, they have that staircase, that hall, right? And they're kind of collapsing on A. So what I would do is I'd put a hard reinforcement here. So that way, this corner is also really good for holding this site, because they have to come around, they can't really kill you, and it's just a hard clear here. It's pretty favorable. Like, you can basically just chill here. If they come in on B site, you can shoot them on the head holes if you're really good. If they come in through the rotation that you made, you can kill them. If they come in through main breach, you can kill them. If they jump through that window, you can kill them when they come around the corner. There's not a lot of cover to play with if you're really good at crouching and stuff. This is bulletproof. So that's good, and it's just kind of hard to clear that corner. Sometimes it's miscleared. So I'll open up this reinforcement, and while that gives a lot of sightline, if you're losing the round on the extremities of the site, while, you know, they get a lot of vision, they can get, you know, a lot of angles, it gives them a lot of freedom to go in and out if they gain a certain amount of space. If you don't lose on the extremities, it also gives you a lot of freedom to reinforce wherever the push is coming from. So obviously you're going to reinforce the main breach. I think that one is a must, right? I think this one's up for debate, but I think it would find use if people came through the window more. So maybe like if you have some kind of problem, like this one's up for flex. I put my bulletproof there, and I like to put one right here, because what I've found is that the way I was losing rounds the most was when I was doing something either top spiral or yellow stairs, or maybe like I don't want to say I was over here, or maybe I was over here. Let's just pretend like I'm in this area, okay? What happens is they'll break main breach when my teammates are dead or not paying attention, and then they'll come in and they'll get all this space. And like I said, this rotation kind of gives them a lot of freedom once they get onto site. So I think if you can stop them from coming through this door, you get the Melusi there to freeze them. And this is more important now because ACOGs are out of the game. So the reason I played Melusi, especially in low elo, was because while I'd probably rather play somebody else, I don't have like that big of an ego, so I don't need to be on like the ego chow characters. I'm not sure if I would leave these open or not. I don't need to be on like the ego chow characters. So I like Melusi as a shotgun. I think she's a little strong, okay? And the fact that I have a 70% win rate with her is kind of problematic. So I think she's probably going to lose one of these, and she might get downgraded to a super shorty or something. So I think that these make your teammates' engagements easier, right? So if there's an Ash, if Thermite opens this and Ash comes in and Ash gets frozen and your teammate is like, I don't even know, I'm trying to think of like a character that's just like bad, that has a bad weapon. Let's say he picked Mozzie, bro, and he has like no idea how to use Mozzie's M4, the 9mm M4. And you know, it's not hard to use, but it's not like the best weapon. Like the Ash with the R4 and good aim is gonna beat the Mozzie every day of the week. So if Ash gets frozen, like, you know, you're like little Timmy with the with Mozzie's 9mm M4 is gonna ice that Ash, and it's basically all through the help of this assist. So I think this one's super important, because that's actually how I was losing a lot of rounds, where like I can't leave the site, like I can't leave this area, right? Like let's say I was playing here and they're coming in through main breach, like I have to play here, or I have to crouch close or something. And you know, if I'm here, I need people holding my top spiral. I need people holding this door, kind of. I mean, I can multitask, but I can only do so much. Like I can't lose top yellow, because if I lose top yellow, they're gonna swing there. So if they're coming in through main breach, I would have to be here because my teammates weren't good enough. So that's why I started putting the Melusi there, because I think it's really good. Same thing over here. I think this one is super important. Sometimes I have a Goyo, put a Goyo here. So I think this is really good because it just makes it a lot harder for them to clear the room. And then, you know, this isn't super easy. I mean, you can, you know, if no one's holding this door, then you can shoot it, obviously. So maybe even, you know, you can put it here sometimes on the other side, so that way they have to turn around to clear it. It might be better to put it there. So you can put it here. So that way it's just harder for them to clear and their back's turned. I just put it here because it's like a little bit easier. I think you might want to just prioritize this one at the beginning of the round. That way, like, you're not like late. You know, sometimes your teammates are blocking you and you're setting up the site. I like to put holes here. Sometimes your teammates are blocking you when you're putting up the site. And your setup is a little bit slower, right? So as Melusi, like, I'm putting up walls because I'm a team player. I'm making head holes and foot holes with the shotgun, and I have to place 4 gadgets in different locations. So yeah, I think having a Melusi here or there is really good. There's probably better, and then your Goyo can put one here. I think the main breach is super important. I think this one is up for debate. You can kind of put it wherever you want. Sometimes you want to put it top spiral. Like, if you can put it like right here, it makes it hard for them to come through top spiral. And then the last one I put right here. And that's pretty much the site. Like, with everything I explained, maybe there's a couple head holes I'm missing or reinforcement walls like here and here. Like, I mean, you could put head holes right here, right? You want to open this up to hold this doorway in case you lose top spiral, because you don't want to give them this whole room for free. You kind of want to contest it a little bit. And like, I think that's like that was crushing bad players for me on this site. We'll go garage. So garage is interesting. I kind of believed that Melusi wasn't very good in the garage.
Protect the bombs.
That's just kind of how I felt about it. But actually, so I was spreading them out, okay? My main belief was to spread the Melusis out. You know, hopefully someone's getting hatches. I think this one, I don't know if it really needs to be reinforced, but if you miss this one, I don't think it's a big deal. So there were times where, like, I was playing with a Melusi here, and I just don't think it's worth it because this corridor is already so hard for attackers to get through. And if you have someone holding it, as long as, you know, maybe, preferably you have someone over here, but even if there's one guy here and one guy on that head hole, it's kind of hard for them to just walk down spiral and win the round off of walking down spiral. And usually you have a first floor roam anyways. So as long as you're on cams and you're aware that this can happen, I don't think you need to put a Melusi here. What I actually started doing, which sounds silly, is I'll put one on the right side of this door. And then I'll put one on the left side of the door, which also stops people coming in from garage and, like, fighting close sync, right? And then I'll put one on the left side of the garage. I swear I could do it. I don't know if I don't think you have to get on the car, but I guess you could. I thought I was... Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to do that. So you can either crouch here and do it, or you can put it up there. And basically, like, let's see the ring one more time. Let's see the ring.
10 seconds remaining.
So, with the two of them combined, that's the entire garage side. So if they ever break main breach, now, not sure, maybe it's better to put it up here because it'll be less likely to be exploded by a thermite charge. It might break. I've actually, like, never really paid attention to it. But let's say it doesn't break and they get through main breach. You have Melusis on both sides, so as soon as they walk in, they're always slow. So they can never really push up and gain space. Obviously, you have a rotation over here. And it sounds like a little silly. Like, I think there are better characters to play in the basement. But as long as you don't lose this doorway, and you don't lose main breach, now they can only come from spiral or in the back. Which means that they have to go through a bunch of side rooms. So I usually reinforce this one. And then for my last Melusi, usually there's a hole here. Let's say we don't do that, and we just make a shotgun hole, and we make some shotgun holes here. Maybe this is open for rotation. I put my last Melusi right here. So anybody pushing construction from this side has to worry about that hole. Then when they swing here, they have to worry about that hole. And then they have to worry about this door while they're being frozen by this. So I think they're probably frozen right here. And they're exposed to 3 angles, and in order to clear it, they have to expose to a 4th, which means they're kind of dead. Now, if it's like a 2v1 situation where there's one guy behind that pillar and one guy over here, when this guy reloads and that guy's behind the pillar, he can swing up, break it, and then get close and then swing. But it's a lot harder than, you know, just running up initially, right? Like, because there'll be a moment where he's exposed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I guess you could put a reinforcement like here. I'm not sure, like, I don't actually know, like, the site setup, so I kind of just use my head, right? So, like, obviously that hole's a little big, but it's usually a head hole there. Put a head hole here so you can contest the door, you can contest main breach, and then you can contest the construction walk-in, right? And then also you're here, like, to hold the spiral walk-in, right? So, like, I like sitting here. I'm not gonna lie, I might open this completely just to give me a little more mobility. If I'm Melusi and I have to, you know, I have to run around and shit, or maybe the guy's running back and I want to kill him, so I'll leave that open so I can sprint over, so I can shoot the guy before he runs away. And I don't think it's that complicated, but this is basically like the Melusi setup that I would use in most of the rounds. I don't see a reason why you would put a Melusi anywhere else. Maybe spiral, like I was saying. I don't think you need one in this area because as a defender, you don't really want to be here because if they push 2-3 guys there, maybe you want to contest it, right? But or like you want these stairs or something because you're gonna flank. Like I don't know what the goal is in the round, but I don't think you need Melusis over here. Maybe one right here. Okay, if we're playing for this room, you don't want them to come in here, and you'll hard reinforce this. Maybe the hatches. I don't know. Like, it just depends on the setup. I think if you were defending this room for whatever reason, you'd need one right here. And then I think that would probably be good. I don't think it works very well to have one here, right? Because as soon as it goes off, he'll just go dink, right? I mean, he's kind of exposed, actually. Right, we gotta clear the room. We're frozen. He knows I'm on the stairs, and like I have to. At some point, I have to give up these angles and go, and then I have to put my gun back up. And then once you hear this shot, you can swing on it. So maybe this is a play right here, but I don't think it's super necessary. Basically, like as long as I'm holding the garage door. With those 3, the garage door and the yellow, like, yellow stairs, okay? Basically, this slows the round out long enough where I feel comfortable taking the fights. Like, at that point, I don't need to fight for any space on the map, because as long as I'm not going to lose the round instantly, then I'll probably win in the long term because I'm a stronger player. Again, like this one's pretty good for when they swing. You can even play it kind of casual and then just swing off the sound cue. And that's basement. And those 2 sites, you know, with those setups, like let's say you win both those rounds, then you're up 2-0 and you should be able to win the game off of momentum or whatever. I don't really have one for piano room. I don't have like a crazy setup for piano room. For piano room, Maybe I'll put some up, but usually I feel like I was playing like here. I was playing, yeah, normally when I played Piano Room, I was like Rook or Dock or something. And I would play like here and wait for the pushes. Because this angle is like so good. And that's like, I mean, that's just the first floor. You can do that, right? I don't know where the bomb sites are on the first floor. I know there's one Piano Room. I don't know where the other one is. I think it's like Server Teller. But like this angle is like kind of underrated. Just to stop that door and stop people coming in there. The only thing you gotta worry about is a Blackbeard. And then, you know, you just run away.
Located and defused. All friendlies have been eliminated.
Epic.